Oh, shit. This is insane. Can you guys see me? Give me a 1 if you can. If you can see me, if you can hear me, give me that 1. Let me know that you guys can see me. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm not sure what's going on. All right. Carolyn just hit me with the 1. All right, awesome. Just got to make sure my phone sound is off. All right, got some 1s popping off. Awesome, amazing. Sorry I'm late to the stream, but actually I was on time to the stream, but I was sitting here talking to myself as it turns out. Got to stop feeding them Cody creatures after 1 because the Kremlins are killing my ass. All right, the whole screen is lit up with 1s. Amazing. 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 All right. So we are going to be talking about some wild stuff tonight. Hopefully everybody is here, buckled up and ready to go. I know hopefully you guys were missing me last week. I had some stuff to take care of. Make sure everything was copacetic and good. So I wasn't able to get on. Just so you guys know, Sarah, Amanda, and I are going to be taking, I guess, a 2-week hiatus because Sarah actually has some pretty big news. I'm not going to spoil it, but she has some big news coming up. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but look for that. I'm telling you, it's going to be wow when you see it. Can I do a commentary on the Fannie Willis trial? You know what? It's a really good observation. And to be funny, yeah, right? Don't mess with people in the office. There you go. That's it's not good for anybody. Don't poop where you eat. It's kind of the old camping thing. Don't crap where you eat. You know. Okay. I see everybody is here. Croblins. Oh man, Croblins. The Kremlins, Croblins. The Kremlins, Croblins, Carabins. These things are Tama behind the pieces. Yeah, I'm kind of with the queen. I don't want to get too crazy into the political arena because this thing will get ugly quick. It will get ugly quick. Well, yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that, like, irrespective of, let me just make this a little bigger, irrespective of your political party, don't screw people in the office. Never works out well. All right. Yeah, here we go. We are going to go live. We are having a good time so far. At least I am. I've been thinking about this from before. Like, actually, I released a video not too long ago. It was like, Cody and Robyn were planning on stealing $2.5 million from the family, which I absolutely believe. And not only do I think that they were going to steal the $2.5 million from the family, I think that the entire sister wife closet debacle, as I kind of intonated on my thumbnail, was actually supposed to be a fledgling MLM. It was supposed to be a multi-level marketing business that they were, or network marketing business, or friend and family business, whatever you want to call it, a pyramid scheme. That's how they had presented it. Because as I watched the presentation, like the whole Shark Tank, this is when Shark Tank, I guess, was at its peak, and they were like, everybody's doing Shark Tank. So the Sister Wives did a Shark Tank for Sister Wives Closet. And to be honest with you, until I put the piece in where it was presented as a multi-level marketing business, I looked at it like this was just a terrible presentation. This was a horrible presentation. If this was business, if this was something that they were legitimately trying to do, and if they ever come out and they try to deny what I'm saying, no, James don't know what he's talking about. He's full of the stuff. He's just a hater. He's a YouTuber. He doesn't know me. He don't know what I'm about. He don't know my life. He ever come out and say something like that? Here's what I would say in response and in retort. If you legitimately put forward a business proposition to some people who you consider to be true, genuine venture capitalists, people whose business and job it is to invest in business to try to make money, if you thought it was a good idea for you to present Sister Wife's Closet the way you did and in the form that you did, you, sir, are an ass. You were completely incompetent. That was the worst business proposition or a presentation I've ever seen or heard of. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. I'm not saying I'm like the big business wig guy. But what I do understand is I want to give a little bit of a story time. Okay? And we're going to go into a little bit of a story time. We're going to let the room fill up a little bit before we get into the story time. But I am going to have a story that directly relates to the entire premise of the way they presented the Sister Wife's Closet business and why I think it was doomed to fail. If it was a genuine business proposition, if it was something that they were going in and saying, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't you guys invest a whole bunch of money into this business? I can run the numbers on why it was going to fail off the top. Even before they got started, why it was going to fail and why it wasn't going to work. Like, there was one point where Stan had said, Stan is the guy that they knew, the Shark Tank got the African-American gentleman, or as they say, the urban gentleman with the very close fro. the fro extra light. What he said was, I think, the most accurate thing that could be described. They don't have their stuff together. This was not a business proposition or presentation for a traditional based business. This wasn't something that you would walk in and say, hey guys, I want a bunch of money. Will you give it to me? Here's my business plan. Because no matter what you do, and this is just in frame of reference of whether you're applying for a job, whether you're going for a promotion, whether you're trying to keep your job, whether you're trying to get money from somebody, whether you're seeking a mentor. One of the questions that you always have to answer is this. You have to be able to figure out, solve, and determine what their issues are, what their problems are, and what do they need, and how can you fill that need, how can you fit that need, how can you solve their problem. That's what you have to do. And in a business I keep saying proposition. In a business presentation, that's the key thing that you're presenting to them. Their problem is that they have a bunch of money, because they're venture capitalists. They have a bunch of money that they want to put into a business, and they want to get a bunch of money back. I have 3 stacks sitting in front of me. I want 6 stacks, 9 stacks, or 10 stacks. You know, simple as that. Simple math. I want more than what I have. That's my problem. I want more than what I have. I have a problem. I don't have enough money. I want more money. That's their problem. Now, if you can go in there and solve their problem and tell them how they can get more money, then they don't give a shit about your customers. They don't care about how you gonna do it. They just want to know that you can guarantee that money or come to as close a guarantee as possible. And this is part of the reason why this would be the importance of performance, how well the business is doing, what the business projections are, where the business has been, what the business is doing now, and where the business is going. So they want to see a projection over the course of that whole period. They want to get what they call a ROI, which is a return of investment. They want to make sure that the money that they put in, they're going to not only get that back, but they're going to get something back on top of it. That's the whole purpose of it. These people are not there to be your friends. They're not there to give you money. And more importantly, and this is where it gets a little more MLM, network marketing esque, if you will, is they're not there to make your dreams come true. They're not there to make your life easier. They're not there to make you happy. They don't care about any of those things. What they care about is making their money bigger for themselves. What they care about is having a return on investment. They will care about making sure that the money that they put in goes somewhere, cohabitates with somebody else's money, mix and mingles, and then comes back bigger, healthier, stronger, and multiplied. That's what they care about. And the Brown family in that presentation did not present any means or method in which that was going to happen. The one thing they did say is something that I'm going to reveal to talk about exactly why, that, in my opinion, this was a multi-level marketing business. Full stop. It was never going to be we're going to create more products, and with the genius of our product designer, Robyn, who just sits there and doodles in her little sister wife's closet jewelry book and decides that she's going to come up with these new fantastic designs. That's not going to work. My man, that's not going to work. It's not going to be popular. Oh, man. Hi, new people. Audrey says, hi, new people. Hello, folks. And that's the crux of it. Like, there is a point where you look at these venture capitalists, because that was supposed to be the whole thing. They kept throwing that term around. We're looking for venture capitalists. We're looking for people who are going to invest in our business so that our business can explode and it can get so much bigger and so much stronger. But you look at what they have. If they were going to introduce Robyn at all, then Robyn would have to be able to get up and explain the success of her designs. For her to simply say, I designed some jewelry for myself and I'm gonna try to sell it to the masses. For her to say that, she would have to be able to say, and here is my experience in doing such. Instead, you have a person who has zero experience designing jewelry, crafting jewelry, selling jewelry, being in the jewelry business. She is by no means a jeweler by trade or by training. She has no experience in said field. And then all of a sudden, she's going to come in and she wants not, couple $1,000, not even $1,000. She wants $2.5 million. They like it. They chase that whole family out of there with sticks and dogs. You don't get out of here. You must be crazy. Now, I'm looking at a bunch of stuff. All right, so what I was talking about earlier, let me bring this down a little bit. All right, what I was talking about earlier was the story time. I'll set the story time up. When we talk about return of investment and what is the business reason, like, because ultimately that's what you have to present to them. What is the business reason of why they would want to invest in this venture? And the story that I was going to tell, because it's story time. The story that I want to share is simply this: I worked in a company or corporation, and we were presented with a gentleman who had worked in our IT department, and I was doing okay in the company, and I had a lot of resources within the company. And so there was a gentleman within the company who worked IT, and he had kind of that heroic history or story, like the storied life, where he started out, he was homeless, then he got hooked up on drugs, and he lost a lot of things, lost his parents. Like, he was really, like, it was bad. Like, he was down bad. And as it turned out, he was able to clean himself up, get himself into school, work his way through school, get his education, eventually wound up with a master's degree. Then he starts with the company, works his way up within the company while he's working, works his way up in the company. And as it turns out, he was also a musician. And they were talking about, there was some filmmakers who wanted to do a documentary on his life because his life was that interesting. Like I said, it was kind of that yeoman's tale or hero story. So he wanted to do that that tell that story. So during the time when we were having different celebrations throughout the company, we had looked at him and said, "Wow, this is awesome, dude! Like you did all this stuff. We had no idea because I had known him from a couple different few organizations I ran within the company, and even some of the things like extracurriculars that we were running in the company for some of the employees. I had known him from those things, some of those business associations. So I was like, wow, man, this is awesome. And somebody came up with the idea, why don't we go to the company, ask them to feature him in some things for the company, and maybe even run like do a whole production, and maybe have like some of the more important people, like the executive people, come down and give them some kind of award or some kind of acknowledgement or whatever. We had this whole thing, and it'd be good for publicity and da 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 da. And there was a guy, like, I didn't work in the business sector portion of this company. I worked in the legal portion of this company. And one of the guys who I was close with, a good buddy of mine, or I won't say he was a good buddy, he was a buddy, guy I was associated with. He came down, he was in the meeting, and we were talking, and he was executive. He says, before we present this, we have to be able to show what the business is going to get out of it. And when he said that, it clicked on all of us, because we were looking at it from the perspective of like being a decent person and just, celebrating this guy who overcame all these things. But when we started talking about the business expending business dollars towards any type of activity, funding, or presentation, or anything that had to do with money that was from the company, then we would have to be able to provide a clear return of investment. If you put in X amount of dollars, you're going to get X amount of dollars back. It doesn't work for the whole, we could do it for exposure, we could do it for publicity, we could do it for like the media presence or whatever the case may be, unless of course we can tie that to something else to where they're actually getting a fiduciary benefit from the investment that they're putting in. That's what we would have to show. And when I think about this, especially when it comes to Cody, and even with some of the multi-level marketing businesses, they very rarely talk about when they try to get you to join and they invite you to the meeting. Come on out to the meeting. It's amazing. It's great. It's going to be something to talk about. We're going to teach you how to make $1 million. You're going to have your friends and your family and everybody going to come in. They're going to join, and all of a sudden you're all going to be rich living on the beach. Da 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 da. They never tell you how you're going to make your money back. They tell you about all the money that's out there to be made, but they never tell you that how you can make your money back. And there is a substantive difference. If you put in $200, how will I be able to take my $200, turn that around, and be able to make even $201 and get that back? They never say that. They just kind of sell you hopes and dreams and pipe dreams. And that's kind of how they present things when they do the multi-level marketing or pyramid schemes. And this is pretty much how Cody and the family presented this whole business presentation. That was their approach. Let me say hi to Tanya Johnson. What's going on? Hey, in the house. Hi, James. Can't watch today, but love this. Love the story. Story time. Love that story time. Well, thank you very much, Tanya. I appreciate it. Hopefully everything is well and you're doing okay. I appreciate the super chat. That's awesome. Thank you. Tanya Johnson in the house. Then we have Audrey Bringer. What's going on, Audrey? Missed you, James. So grateful you're back. Your commentary gets me through stress and you give good advice. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. YouTube needs some common sense. I hear that, aka James. All love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Audrey. I appreciate it. And I see you in the on Mondays. I see you. Maybe I'll contact them. Maybe I'll do run a live anyway. Thank you so much, Audrey. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll run a live tomorrow at 7, depending on what everybody has going on. But yeah, that was the whole thing. Like, as I was watching that was one of the things that stuck out to me, is that, like, I understand, because I think that the sister wives, I'm guilty of it. I'm willing to admit I was guilty of that. I was guilty of looking at it from the perspective of, this would be great. I would love to see it from the perspective, I would love to have my man come down and we all celebrate his accomplishments. I think it would be great if we all got together and did that. But when we start talking about business business, as they say, we start talking about that business, then all of a sudden that money becomes a lot different. That's different type money. That money has to be accounted for. That's not fun money. That's not play money. That's not play. Oh, I'm going to just spend this money on this. Oh, I'm going to get $2.5 million from this investment group. And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to buy myself a Porsche. Or I'm going to buy myself a Ferrari or a Lambo. Or well, I guess he can't afford one of them, those Bugattis. He can't afford a Bugatti. Because that'd be all of the money. And even then, he'd get a used one. Which would be amazing. Just scrap it in the house. James, how old is your daughter? It's in the chat. Oh, she's old enough. She's old enough. She's an adult. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's an adult. She's not 15, 16 years old. She's not a baby no more. But daddy, little baby, grown up. Thank you for the super chat. Catherine Green in the house. I probably shouldn't say your name. I apologize. I'm letting the cat out the bag, as it were. Yeah, but that's my whole thing. Like, when push comes down to shove, like, that's an easy way for you to fall into the trap. And because I was going to do a whole separate thing talking about the multi-level marketing side of the business next week for the live, just so we could cover, because I want to talk specifically about the Plexus, what is it, Plexus, and then LuLaRoe, even, Vima and Quickstar, and which is basically Amway. It's just online Amway. There's a bunch of them that we could talk about that all pretty much fit into the same category and are all pretty much target the same type of folks. So I just want to make sure that we go through all of it. And I wanted to present, to start out, I wanted to present some of the things that I noticed about this setup. And then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it here with regard to the Sister Wife's Closet and how I think, and it came to the conclusion that it was a multi-level marketing presentation as opposed to a general presentation, just in the way that they went about it. Just scrapping, sending the love, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kimberly, yes, I am married. Long time. Well trained, as you will. She's in the cut. She's always in the cut. Holding a player down. That's where I get my experience from. These ideas ain't all mine. You can't blame me. It's not all my fault. All right, so what I wanted to talk about, let's go over the presentation first, because that's kind of where I started, and that's one of the things that really stuck out to me as I was watching this, and I was sitting there looking at it like, ooh, this is ugly. Ooh, why would you do this? Don't do that. And I'm listening to the presentation. There are a couple points that I pulled out because, James, I like to bring them receipts. Okay. I want to make sure that as I'm going through this, I'm backing up what I'm saying, or at least giving my thought pattern as to what I mean when I say what I say and why I've come to the conclusion that I've come to. Again, this could just be, I could be wrong. And I know, like I said, I know Cody and them probably watching this or will hear about it at some point. They'll say, they don't have no idea what they talking about. He don't know. Look, either this was, if I'm giving you a lot of credit, or you guys were just that awful. Like, point blank. I'm giving you a lot of credit, or it must be that awful. Right out. So, the first thing that, I gotta find my chumpy jump. Run. First thing we're gonna talk about, let's take a look at the 3 goals that, because when they first started talking about it, they basically had 3 goals that they were going to do for Stan and Amy. Stan and Amy Just so we're clear. Do I have that in here? There's a point where they talk about knowing Stan and Amy. Where do they know Stan and Amy from? We'll get into that in a moment. But there are three things that Cody was talking about he wanted to have prepared for Stan and Amy to prepare for this particular meeting. Let's take a look at it. I don't think I've ever been empowered as the head of this family. Ever. Could you imagine? Will you stop crying? That shit is nuts. That is so nuts. I mean, what are you crying about? And the whole reason why he wants to be able to make whatever decision that he wants to make is because he can't decide what to do with that money without having to go back and run it by committee. That's what he's mad about. He's not mad because he can't decide to put out the tree necklace versus the heart bracelet, or put out the Phoenix design that he came up with for Robyn. I can't make that in gold. I can't make that decision myself. No, you can't. What you can't do alone is decide what you're going to do with this money that is we are all responsible for. Let me say that one more again. What he can't decide to do unilaterally is what to do with the money that all of them will be fiduciarily responsible for. They will all be responsible for that money. That was one of the things that kind of struck me as he was standing there talking to them about the, we all got to show up to do this presentation. Now, part of me is like, well, that maybe they wanted each one of the wives to stand there and show their commitment to the process and to the Shark Tank presentation, because you got from the production side, they won't have just Robyn and Cody stand there and do it, because they got to have all of the wives up there doing a part of the presentation to make it for the show. Okay, maybe. But the darker side of me feels like if you are going to do some shenanigans, then you want to pull as many of these people into it as possible. If it's just you and Robyn standing there as the CEO in Cody's vein of charge, and the COO, the corporate operations officer, and maybe the CFO, which would be Janelle, or if you're saying that Robyn is the COO and shared duty of CFO, because it's basically her company, then what you would be doing is you would be completely isolating the responsibility of the investment onto the married couple, which is Cody and Robyn, and both people would be involved. So even if they try to hide behind the LLC shield, corporate veil, that veil could most likely be pierced. I won't even say most likely. There's an opportunity that the investment group would be able to pierce the corporate veil and go after their private assets, because they're a married couple. And especially if there's a married couple who came in and asked for the money as a married couple, but under the corporate umbrella of this particular business, Sister Wife's Closet LLC, and they came and asked for the money, and they're the executive officers of said organization, and they use the money for their private and personal expenses, then yeah, that corporate veil is getting pierced. That LLC doesn't mean jack shit. Okay, there's no protection. I don't think that there's any protection. Now, of course, you'd have to talk to somebody who's in the legal field in Arizona for a definite answer, but that would be my suspicion. And so it would make sense that you want, good night, Vixen. You want to make sure that you have people who are going to be in the way. So you have as many people to kind of cloud the issue as possible. People who may not benefit from your shenanigans. You want to have them standing on the stage too. So you're like, well, look, I had all the corporate officers here. And, clearly it was something that was done for the corporation. And if things were done inappropriately, we needed somebody to do that. Janelle's the one with the degree. And under the bus she goes. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm reading too much into it, and that's a possibility. But I would just be extremely nervous, and I would be sitting there looking at them sideways if they presented this as a possibility. Just saying. Let me know what you guys think down below. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I know it was a long one. I know we had a lot. We covered a lot of stuff. Hopefully we had a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun. This was pretty cool. So glad to do a live. Oh, you guys don't understand how much I wanted to do a live. I was ready to just rip one off, but then I was like, that might be kind of a little gauche. Just throw one up. But I will get the Discord up, and when I drop that, I'm going to let everybody know. I'm also going to let folks know when I do the Patreon and get all that stuff up. We're going to have some fun. What is this? Share Bear. And Share Bear. And then he said the reason the dog at Mary's peed when Cody came over was because he was so alpha. Oh, I didn't hear that the dog was peeing. Not to be funny. And not accusing anybody of anything. Story time. I will say this. And Cody came over. The dog. He said that the reason the dog at Mary's peed when Cody came over was because he was so alpha, quote unquote. Story time. When I was in school as a young old man, I wore a younger man's shoes. When I was in college, a couple of buddies of mine had adopted or rescued. They adopted a rescue dog. So the dog had been abused bad. Like it was messed up. Like this dog was nervous as shit. Like you walk in a room, the dog would drop, just pee everywhere. And it was a shame. But one of the earmarks, I never forgot that one of the consequences of the dog being mistreated was that it was extremely nervous. And when people walked in the room on a dog, especially, if it was a situation, and I've seen this in other situations, not just in this particular situation, because these guys were actually pretty decent to the dog. They loved that dog until it passed. But if you've ever seen a dog who will pee when certain people come into the room, that's because the dog is afraid of those people. And usually it's afraid of those people with good reason, because those people have done things to that dog to make that dog afraid of them. So that message from Evelina Hoover, that's concerning to me. Like I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not saying that Cody was doing anything to the dog. I don't know. I'm just saying that that's been my experience. So take that for what it is. And I think that goes beyond like allegedly, I don't know if he's doing anything. The dog could just be nervous. Like maybe somebody else is abusing the dog, or the dog could have bladder problems, which is a thing too. Sometimes dogs get incontinent too. I knew somebody's dog had diabetes. Like you're like, what? That's a human thing. Nope. Dogs get all kinds of shit. I knew somebody's cat had cancer. It was insane. A lot of money too. GG, first time I got to participate. So fun. Nice to communicate with other people who get a kick out of the show. Well, welcome, GG. I hope you had a good time. Well, it says you had a good time, and I'm glad. I'm glad you had fun. That's why we do it. Yeah, the chat box is always fire. Always fire. Always lit. Always a good time. Everybody's cool. And that's what I like. I like cool and easy. You know what I mean? Unless it's time to get rough. With little Tina Turner. Everyone, please remember to smash that like button. Yeah, please smash the like. And hit that subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. Always appreciate it. Yeah, allegedly. Elizabeth be a reminder. Allegedly. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying this was my experience. So I don't know the dog. I never even heard the story. I'm just saying that you know, it's just weird to me. I'll say that. Like if I went over to somebody's house, and then I'll say this: if I went over to somebody's house and they had a dog, and then every time they came into the room, came near the dog, said the dog's name, at a modicum of like volume, like Rover, whatever, and the dog stopped, looked at him, and paused, and then peed. I'd be like, you doing something to this damn dog. Like the dog, because I've had dogs. I'm a dog guy. I like dogs. I want another dog, actually. Kind of a dream thing. I have other things I need to do before I get a dog, but because I've always taken a position, and this is just me. Again, this is just me. Story time. I take the position that if you have a pet, especially if you're going to commit to a pet, you have to understand the pet that you're getting, and then understand the responsibilities of that pet and take it seriously. So much so that you don't want to home a pet and then without, things happen, and sometimes you have to rehome your animal, and I understand that, and that is a possibility. But I try to do everything in my power to prevent a scenario or situation where I would have to rehome an animal. Because once the animal gets accustomed to being in my presence or, being in the house, part of the family, a little fur baby, they get accustomed to that. It seems kind of cruel to me to just take them out. Without, if things happen, if you have a reason as to why you need to do it, then it is what it is. But just for me, like, I don't like to, if I take in a dog, or I've taken in a cat and some other things, some other cats and stuff, and once I bring them in, I keep them. So, I keep them till they gone, and then that's that. So I'll get another dog. So I like dogs, and I've had dogs since I was little. So, like I said, when there's certain behaviors that just isn't a normal experience for most animals. I'm not saying that there aren't exceptions, but just for most animals, in my experience, dogs just don't, unless there's an issue, like I said, some kind of bladder problem or some kind of incontinence issue with the animal, they just don't pee. Hey, how you doing, dog? And pee. No, that's just not a thing. Come with me, Rover. Ah! That's not a thing. Unless you're doing something to his ass. Yeah. Okay, James. Start all over, please. Hey, welcome to the show. Mike Yah, was it Mike Yah Wims or WMS? Sharebear, Cody's not a loving person, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't abusing the dog. I can't even say he really loves Robyn. I just think she's obsessed with her. Yeah. It's kind of that weird part where I kind of get that same feeling, Sharebear, that sometimes when it comes to Robyn, I know a lot of people are like, oh, he loves her. I think he loves the image that Robyn provides him. Sometimes you love people for what they can do for you. You don't necessarily love them. You just love what they do for you. And I think that Robyn does a certain thing for him because he gets to brag about how she used to be a diesel jean model and how she was so attractive and she was so pretty. And, she's the kind of woman that he should be with. That kind of thing. But I'm not sure. Because, the weird part about it is, especially if he is a narcissist, narcissists don't love the way normal people love. And so, therefore, it's not a matter of they love you or in love with you the way when they say they love somebody, it means something completely different. It's not, it's not like, oh, he loves me. No, it doesn't mean what you think it means. He loves what you do for him. He loves the fact that you're a convenience. He loves the fact that you provide for him, or you're compassionate to him the way he needs you to be compassionate. But please don't misunderstand that by thinking that any of that will be reciprocated. Please don't make that mistake. You know what I mean? Because you will be sorely disappointed. Rochelle J, she's about to get to bed. I'm about to go to bed too. I stayed up past my bedtime. I got to start. I want to try to post some of these videos. I think I'm going to try to do them a little earlier so that way it's not killing folks on the East Coast. Because it'll get late for them. Not to be a dick, but I'm trying to figure a good time that balances out for everybody, which I guess is kind of impossible because the world is the way it is. You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Bam. What is this? Julia Arnold. My son had a little rat terrier, and every time she got excited, she would pee, and she wasn't afraid of us. That's true. That's also fair. I've seen that too. But some animals are very sensitive. I think that's a good point. Thank you, Julie. That is also a good point. Some dogs do get excited and they pee because they're excited. That's true. But there's a difference though. And I guess maybe I was hyper focused on the idea that he's saying that he's an alpha, because usually that implies that there's a certain level of fear involved. And maybe I just became, I won't say maybe, I became hyper focused on that. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes dogs do get super excited. They get so excited and they just kind of pee a little bit. It does happen. That is true. But I'm thinking, I guess I was maybe kind of trauma bonded on the fact that like that one dog, like I said, the dog that my buddies had, that dog was just mistreated. Like it had scars and stuff. Like you could tell it was physically mistreated. Treated poorly, and that dog had PTSD for sure. All right, Joy, you have a great night. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go because I don't want to drag this out too long. People gonna be cussing my ass out in the morning. Like, damn, James, what is he thinking? My take on my ass? Yeah, lunatic. You don't know how to go to bed with some kind of vampire or something? Twilight? He is not Edward. Okay, Dana Johnson said, I like the Sunday nights. The Monday lives are usually too early for me here on the West Coast. Okay, fair play. But we like each other. Yeah, right. Cody looked like he was guessing that shit. We like each other, right? You like me, don't you? She like sometimes. When on payday, I like you. Laura B, the extraordinary machine. I love the name. That's awesome. Hey, Laura B, what's going on? All right, Team James all the way. There you go. Thank you. It's good to see you, Laura. Hope everything is well. Yeah, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me once again for another Sunday. We will be back next Sunday for sure. And I want to see, I got to reach out to Amanda and Sarah, see if anybody's doing anything at 7. Maybe I'll pop on at 7 and we could go over some stuff. Maybe talk about like some of the craziness with Cody as far as him saying that, because I had a video I was going to drop. Maybe I'll just do it in the form of a live, get you guys to talk back because I love that. Getting your input as well. But talking about Cody saying that he doesn't want to film, or he's refusing to film. Reports are coming out saying that he's refusing to film with David Woolley because of some of the slick shit David's been doing. For those who don't know, David's been coming out with like the nacho picture where he's standing eating nachos with Christine. Shots fired. He had another picture where he was standing there holding beer and Skittles with Christine. Again, shots fired. And of course he had the ultimate where he said that Cody was a dumbass. And that is shots fired. And that pretty much lands on everything about Cody. So Cody probably is holding a grudge. So I wanted to talk about that. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see if anybody's doing anything, because I don't want to step on anybody's toes if they're doing something. But if the hour is open or the time is open, I'll jump on it. So just keep an eye out for that for tomorrow if I have any notifications hit. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great evening. If you're somewhere when you're about to go to sleep, have a fantastic morning. Enjoy your Sunday. And no matter what you do, love the people you with. And most importantly, love and take care of yourself. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. My name is James. This has been My Take on Reality. And I'm out.